Welcome to the Orlando Lions Den Podcast, your number one Orlando City podcast. For the fans, by the fans. For the fans, by the fans. Keeping you in the know on all things Orlando City since 2018.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Orlando Lions Den podcast. I got Alex joining me from the Indiana State Penitentiary. What we got going on there, buddy?
I'm in the basement of somebody's house, so yeah. No, I couldn't find. I mean, hotels are crazy expensive, and honestly, like living in a hotel isn't great, especially like the type of hotels that are anywhere near affordable. For a long period of time. So I stayed in a hotel for a week and it was not great. So I saved my company a lot of money. And although it does look kind of like a jail cell now that I'm looking at it, it is much nicer than a hotel. I mean, I got my own little, I guess I can give you guys a little tour, but
oh dang, that MTV Cribs, what's up?
I got my own little like living room and stuff and little kitchen area with a fridge, and I'm free to use everything upstairs too. And
does that say the dugout?
Yeah, it's called the dugout. It's like a baseball themed thing. It's kind of cool, but it's a nice little cozy spot. Aaron and Enzo are going to come and visit me. I booked their flights in
Heck yeah, man.
2 weeks, and the people. So I got here. I'm rambling here, but I got here and the people were like, yeah, I mean, we're leaving next week. We're going to be gone for 2 weeks. We're going on a vacation. And I was like, well, where are you guys going? And they're like, some place in Florida. It's called it's by Disney. It's called Kissimmee. I was like, that's actually that's what's on my address. My license is Kissimmee. So that's funny how that works. So that'll be
house trade.
Yeah, it's not too bad. They're like, yeah, you can use whatever, and they're a cool little family, so I don't mind it. I like the human interaction, and they have an awesome dog. So
it's better than staying at like a Howard Johnson's, you know? Like,
yeah,
I'm assuming that's what they have
dog
in South
was
Indiana.
It? You said Aussie?
Yeah, it's an Australian Shepherd, but he doesn't look like your typical Australian Shepherd. He's super light, like almost all white with a little hint of brown, and his eyes are that Australian Shepherd ice blue, and
beautiful dog.
He's super fluffy. His name's Francisco.
Francisco.
Yeah, he's a cool little pup.
Heck yeah, man. Well, that's awesome. I'm happy that you also are, you're not dealing with just that hotel living anymore. At least a little something more cozy is nice.
It was horrible. My neck started hurting.
Yeah,
having to sit in bed and watch TV and stuff. So I've been enjoying the couch.
There you go, man. That's awesome.
I got a Switch here too. I haven't turned it on yet, but I got to see what games are there.
I was gonna say, yeah, if they got some Pokemon or some Mario Kart, like
you want me to mail you a game or two? I got plenty.
Have to open it up, but it's been a journey, man. It's been fun. I mean, since the last time I did this, I still haven't flown anything, but hoping tomorrow's the day. And weather's got to be perfect, and the Midwest has not been. So.
Hey, I mean, I understand that because it's been raining here all day, and as put in our group chat earlier, south of me, there's even still snow in May. So,
yeah, crazy.
We're having fun. Well, we got Ryder on for the first time in a long time.
Better Ryder, late than never.
How you doing, brother?
My computer just wanted to update everything. This is what you get for using your work computer for a podcast, but I'm here. I'm back. I am so sorry. I'm glad to, as Eddie would so kindly put it, to be with the exciting whites. But at the same time, I've missed you guys so much. I've had work stuff. I've been traveling. I've been sick. Bronchitis sucks, guys. It really does. So I can talk again. I can talk.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No one has time for that. And we're doing, I think for the first time ever, we're doing this podcast from 3 different states. And none of us are in Orlando.
Yeah.
I think, no, because last time it was just Mike and I, so it was just 2. So, yeah.
That's true. Yeah. This is new.
But we're still here, and we're here to talk about Orlando. So someone
You guys
talk
take
about
over. I got a work call.
Go for it, man.
Sponsors. Perfect.
There we go. Let me just go ahead and I'll mute him real quick.
We'll do it
Cool.
live.
Exactly. So with that, we'll go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsors. If you're watching along on YouTube or Twitter, feel free to, as always, go ahead and something's going on with my computer that it's being a butthead now. Feel free to go ahead and join in on the conversation with us. As always, we enjoy having you here. So yeah, chat along with us, enjoy the show, be a part of the show. We'll get you on screen if you're here along. But shout out first, we'll go ahead and go Chad McGibbon. If you're looking to buy a house in the Central Florida area, Chad is your guy. You can go ahead and reach him at Chad McGibbon on Twitter or scan the QR code on the screen if you're watching along to get his information. He'll be happy to go ahead and assist you with your home buying needs. Shout out to Hourglass Brewing. No Mango, No Party. Collaborated with them for a second year in a row to go ahead and create an awesome beer that I know we all enjoyed, and I hope that you all enjoyed as well. So if you are in the Central Florida area, Longwood, or in Orlando proper, go hit up Hourglass Brewing and enjoy the beers. Speaking of buying a house like we were earlier, Leo with the Epic Mortgage Team powered by U Mortgage. If you're looking to buy a home, mortgage a home, refinance a home, Leo has got you covered at Loans by Leo, 407-844-7696. And he is happy to assist you with any of your financing and mortgage questions. And last but certainly not least, our boy Eddie. If you're interested in some insurance, which you should be, it's important to have insurance, whether it be home insurance, car insurance, boat insurance, iPad insurance. He's got you covered one way or the other. Comparion Insurance, QR codes on the screen, or if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and just DM us on the podcast page on Twitter. We're more than happy to go ahead and get you hooked up with Eddie, who will help you out and let you know what's going on, give you some insurance quotes, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So while we're waiting for Alex to get back, we might as well just go ahead and talk about the game this past weekend. So we'll recap that before we talk about the two games. We got a double game week coming up.
Is this the first double game week of the year? I think.
Yes, and we might have 3 of them this month.
Let's do it. I need it.
Yeah, so we have already on schedule. We have 8 games this month. It can go to 9 games this month if we win on Wednesday. If we win tomorrow,
when we win
on Wednesday, yes. So, anyways, but let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is, for lack of any other term, just a disappointing result on Saturday in Chicago. 0-0 draw. We ended up playing about 55 minutes or so, up a man. And we weren't able. Pedro played out of his mind, and as I said on Den After Dark, if you listened into that, he's really the only player that I feel like I can give flowers to in this game. I think that Pedro played an absolutely excellent game, and he was rewarded with MLS Team of the Week honors for how good of a game he played. But whether we were even, and even times when we were up a man, it just did not seem like we had our crap together. We couldn't generate a lot of pressure. We finished with 24 shots and only 3 of them on goal. I think the XG for Chicago, which I hate that, Alex is walking away right now. That's his favorite stat. The XG that Chicago, they had almost like 4 XG according to FootMob. It was like 3.5, I think. That's how well Pedro played. So credit to him. But it's just a disappointing result overall. It's kind of highlighted for me the importance of Atuesta in our team.
How much adjusted FootMob was 2.62.
Okay, it was over 3 at one point during the game. So I remember that. So they must have adjusted it down. But we were clearly very dependent on Edward Atuesta for helping us attack. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand why Martin Ojeda is not starting games right now. Just don't get it. I don't know what's going on. So, Alex, thoughts on the game, thoughts on what I just said. I'll pass it over to you, and we'll kind of go from there.
I'm trying not to repeat what I was talking about on Den After Dark, because that was That was a fun Den After Dark for me. It was weird to watch a match in Orlando and not be in the stadium, but it was good company. But everyone in Harp and Selt was frustrated. Like there's frustration going on, and it's weird because we're approaching a historic moment where Pedro could win the record for most minutes without a goal conceded. I think he needs to go to the full 90 against, and it wouldn't be MLS. It would be against, who are we playing? New England.
Yes, New England is at the weekend. Yep.
So if he goes the full 90 against New England, he gets the record. I think it was 570 was the record.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great, but it doesn't change the fact that we've scored 3 and 5. And we talked last time I was on the pod 5 million years ago before I almost died of bronchitis, but we've gone from a very exciting team to watch, and we're blowing up the league with goals. And even last week, we went from being down in that ranking to still being up to second by blowing out Atlanta, which was great TV to watch, but it doesn't change the fact we look dysfunctional. And that's mostly because of what you said to me at the top of Den After Dark, Atuesta.
Yeah.
Without him, it's not a party. Without him, we're not producing. And it sounds to me like, based on and who knows what our injury report even means anymore, but he might not be back for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that is something that we heard on the broadcast, and I think Matt Doyle posted something about it as well, that Atuesta could be out for a few weeks realistically. Unfortunate truth there if that ends up being the case, but I think what we've heard is a neck injury. Don't know how or
Upper
when
body, like
no, they said neck. They did say neck. They didn't just say like upper body.
We're being specific. God in heaven.
Yeah, we're being specific. We're just not putting it on the report, so that way we know. So that's my thing. Because realistically, the way that I look at it, okay, is if we're going to go ahead and put a midfield pairing out there, and Atuesta isn't available, going with Cesar and Kyle Smith isn't it. Like, there's just no attacking in there whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dagger Dan is the answer either, but I think I would much rather have Thorhalson in there rather than Kyle Smith, because at least he gets forward a little bit.
Yeah, Kyle, like his natural instinct is to run and defend. And don't get me wrong, you and I were arguing in the chat about, should we take Kyle Smith off first or Angulo? And it was hard because Angulo had maybe one of his best matches in a while for us, and that's saying something. And Kyle Smith was looking fine. So it was hard to know who needed to come off for this match, but we just weren't looking aggressive. We weren't attacking the way we needed to. And that's the problem that we were running into. Like you said, Atuesta having Cesar back, because this was his first game back in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Having him back was nice, but he didn't have his buddy. Wilder's gone for the year. Atuesta is who we need, and he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah. And one thing I'll also add here too, that Matt Doyle put in his column that he emails out, is that Oscar Pereira should consider going back to dual overlapping fullbacks when Atuesta isn't available. Otherwise, they just don't get their best attackers on the ball in good spots.
Yeah.
So for me, what I would start to look into, they're probably not going to do it midweek, because looking at how the rest of MLS teams are handling the Open Cup as it started tonight, They're playing very rotated squads. I'm assuming that we're probably going to play a pretty rotated squad as well.
Which
That's
means,
at least what I would assume. So we'll see obviously how that ends up going. But once it comes back to league play, give me Santos on the left, Janssen and Bracalo in central defense, Freeman still on the right, and go back to that overlap. Because when you either have Kyle Smith in there in the central midfield, or if you have Bracalo at left back and Schlegel in the central defense, you're realistically kind of playing a 3 at the back.
yeah.
And your wing backs aren't as effective working with your wingers because you don't have wingers. You just have wing backs instead. So it's not as great of a way of moving forward, in my opinion. So I'd really like to see us move in that direction. And obviously, I'm going to keep banging the drum of I think Bracalo should be the other center back instead of Schlegel. I don't know if that's gonna continue to fall on deaf ears as far as
it's going to be rotation,
goes.
and that's the problem that we have. Is it's going to be rotation. It's also going to be, are we starting Kyle Smith, who is just kind of the utility guy that slots in everywhere? Is he going to be available to come off the bench?
Yeah, I mean he should be, but it's one of those things. Like this is just me saying what I think is the best way forward. Realistically, is I think that we should be looking at that being the back line.
Yeah,
midfield. Realistically, I think if you want to try and be more attacking minded in the midfield, it needs to be Dagger Dan. I think you can put Kyle Smith in there, but if you're putting Kyle Smith in there, it needs to be the 2 center back pairing and the fullbacks getting forward. And the reason why, like I said, I'm emphasizing I think it needs to be Bracalo is even in this game, Schlegel, he got cooked like 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, granted, like Pedro, I will say, made things a little bit more difficult for himself. And this is just going to be, quoting what Eddie has been saying for a very long time, is that he does not parry the ball well at all. He parried himself 2 or 3 times into giving up a second shot to the team.
He did it twice in how many seconds? Like early on?
Yeah, he was just able to go ahead and handle those shots as well, which, easier said than done in normal circumstances. He just had a great game, and we're fortunate for that. But that still being said, Schlegel definitely got cooked a time or two, so for me, again, I don't know if or when it'll ever happen. I think Bracalo needs to be the other starting center back. That's just that's the hill that I'm dying on at this point, because he's
you're not wrong.
He's a better all around player. And the other thing is when we have Schlegel and Janssen in there, both of them are cheeks in the air. Bracalo is a ball winner in the air. Like, I don't understand what, like, you could literally look at their aerial stats, like their aerial duels. Schlegel and Janssen don't win them they're like bottom 20th percentile in the league, and Bracalo is in like the 90th percentile.
And that's okay because Freeman makes up for it. And honest to God, Freeman didn't even have the best game.
He didn't have the best game, but my thing is, what if Freeman's ahead in the attack? You don't have anyone that could beat an aerial duel over the top, So that's like I said, I mean, realistically, there's 2 players in the team right now that I can kind of, if they didn't start as many games, I'd be a very happy person. It's Rodrigo Schlegel and Ivan Angulo. Even though they both, Ivan Angulo played a better game this time around, it still wasn't impressive.
And he's still going to be on our list for stock up, stock down.
No. I don't have anything to say for him stock down wise. We're going to rotate this weekend or this midweek, and Angulo is still going to start. I promise you that.
Which is not a good broadcast if he's the highest tenured player that gets to play this week.
I'm very curious to see what kind of lineup we go with midweek, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So Alex, you've been away for a minute. You're just jumping back in. Do you have any comments to add in the game while we're sitting here pontificating over the fact of what our lineup should be? The fact that our attack is bad when Atuesta's out?
Yeah, and combine that with the attack being bad. Typically, when we're up a man, it's not our game style to play with possession and actually do stuff and break the defense down. So on paper, you get excited when the other team has a red card that early in the match, but yeah, it was a horrible game. So
why in practice has that always hurt us? Because It feels like that's always happened to us. Do we just not play aggressive enough?
I mean, realistically, I think it comes down. It's pretty simple, honestly. The way that Oscar Pareja coaches his offense is to be opportunistic. So his offense is very counterattack based. He doesn't normally like to play with a lot of possession. He likes to go ahead and beat you over the top with speed and precision. So if we're down a man or if we're up a man, they're not going to be touching the ball. We're not really going to be in situations where we're going to be able to beat them on the counter. Instead, they're going to stay compact in a low block, which is like literally Oscar's worst enemy. That's what Red Bull used to do all the time. And he always had terrible trouble playing against like teams like Red Bull and, that energy drink soccer where it's, deep defense and then press. Like, so that's always been his biggest struggle, in my opinion. So I feel like that's really what it kind of comes down to, is just that it's so against what he coaches that when we're in that situation, we can't handle it properly. But I'm not going to blame it entirely on him, because a lot of this realistically is on the players too. Yep. Like I said, we had 24 shots and we only got 3 on target. Like you can't, like that's a terrible average.
The 2.03 XG that I just saw when I was looking at what we had against, that was generous, because some of those chances were not great.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Generous, and it's sad. We were putting good chances. They're just not putting them on net. And you and I were talking in the chat about how going a man down, if anyone needed this match, it was having Duncan out there. Duncan started only his second match of the year, and he should have gotten a goal, and he didn't.
Yeah,
we needed him to score and get a catalyst that moved him on and moved him up, like in the same way that we had to deal with this for Facundo for the longest time.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what the issue. I know. I mean, me and Swag were in pain watching this game with Duncan, because he hit me up and he's like, "Hey, FanDuel's legal where I'm at. Can you give me a FanDuel referral code so that way we could get some free bets?" And then we just go ahead and smash it all on Duncan anytime goal. And all of us
that was Duncan specific.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it worse.
Yeah.
I just told my buddy that was in Vegas for his 10-year. I said this on Den After Dark, but he was on his 10-year anniversary trip to Vegas. He's like, I need a guaranteed bet, guys. I said, Orlando hasn't been scored on. Chicago lost by a touchdown without the extra point last week, and we beat the brakes off Atlanta. So Orlando, and now I got to buy him drinks.
Well, at least you only have to buy him drinks. What's up, Cleon? Your camera's set up the wrong way.
What the heck is this?
Sorry,
you're the one that.
Everyone's showing up late. It's okay,
bro. Hold on. Let me switch this. Normally, it's hiding my food, and now it's got me right.
Sorry, boys.
There we go.
I'm always on call right now.
You're good.
So,
you gotta do the end of the pod from a plane.
No, luckily not. No night flying around here. I wish, but
I'm
still not the latest guy here. I'm surprised. Cleon he was about in Lakeland and had to turn around because he thought the match was tonight. So
yeah, that was we're talking about doing the podcast tonight, and he's like, I think I'm gonna go ahead and make a trip out to St. Pete real quick. And I'm like,
bro, I had no clue.
Tomorrow?
Bro. Hey, I had no clue. Hey, I was already booking my plans to Tampa, man.
Oh man, it's too much.
I legit didn't realize the game wasn't until about 6.
Alex had computer problems. Cleon decided to go ahead and not look at his calendar.
We'll do it live.
We're having a day, guys. We're having a day.
and yet we're still doing better than the scoring for Orlando City.
Yeah. So let's we'll go ahead and we'll just hit stock up, stock down, Cleon. So this is perfect time for you to get here.
Hey.
What you got?
Stock
You
up. It's West, bro. It's West. I know he ain't played, but every time he play, it shows White Sox going through the roof.
To the moon.
To the moon, bro.
To Mars with Elon.
Oh, hey, officially, it's been a long time coming, but officially, there's a new one. There's a new one in town, and it's officially no at West and no party. Officially.
There you go.
It's been a long time since somebody take the Higuita crown, but it's official. No at West, no party.
Like, how many times have I said this on Den After Dark? Last 2 weeks?
Well, I ain't hear it because I never on Den After Dark.
No,
but
that's
because usually if I ask you to speak, you don't know how to take yourself off mute.
That's outside of its contract negotiations.
Yes, bro.
Yes,
I already told you.
He comes in there sometimes and listens along. You just don't
I told you I generously, when Mike came on board, I generously donated. I restructured my contract to fit Mike into the budget. But I told y'all this officially, and mind you, I never did it before. But
what are you, Josh Allen?
Any chance of me doing any extracurriculars outside of this podcast right here?
The
no guest
CBA
nowhere else, and no
the
Den After
CBA
Dark
doesn't allow for it. The Cleon bargaining agreement.
Mm-mm.
Who has your
CBA.
discovery rights?
The CBA,
That's the real
you're right.
question.
The CBA.
No, we're not bringing discovery rights into here. Those are gone. No, we're done with those.
Who's your stock down, Cleon?
Everybody else?
I haven't really got a stock down, bro, honestly.
0-0 draw up a man for 60 minutes and we don't have a stock down?
No, because this is par for the course, bro. No SOS ain't there. We ain't scoring. Point blank, period.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to be out potentially for a couple weeks. Guys, bet the 0-0 draw every week. Just do it.
Hey, man, they better figure out how to, as long as they advance during this Open Cup until he gets back, it's whatever, but.
I don't think he was playing in the Open Cup either way.
Oh, I'll go ahead. I'm going to rather than let you guys go first, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity. My stock up, I'm just going to give it to Pedro. I'm going to take the obvious one. He had a hell of a game.
I was going to go there, but
he deserves it. My stock down, realistically, is just going to be the defense. Up a man, down a man, or up a man, or even, realistically, they look like crap this game. Like, Schlegel got cooked a couple times. I said that earlier. Freeman didn't have his best game. I still think Bercalo has been playing really well. Janssen still struggled a little bit at times. I don't think that Cesar and Kyle Smith are a winning central midfield pair. So, like, I'm kind of just shouting, taking everybody out with me right now. But, like, stock down defense. Like, Pedro bailed your guys out repeatedly in this game, but you guys didn't put him in good situations. So, just the whole group, y'all get it.
Yeah, I'd say stock up for me has to be Pedro. My stock down, I'm torn between Duncan and Freeman. I mean, Freeman more him just coming back to earth a little bit because he had his worst match, which isn't saying much considering he's been playing off the charts. And Duncan, he's got to get back in it, man. He had a few chances and didn't even put it on target either one. So I was really disappointed with that. Stock down also to me for getting on the FanDuel here in Indiana and getting a $200 free bet. Number one, didn't know you could split it up, so I put it all on Duncan McGuire anytime. But right after I did, before the match started, I was texting Mike because he gave me the referral code, and I said, yeah, it was between that and I almost just put it on the 0-0 draw after starting. I saw the lineup and would have paid $2,400 off the free bet. So stock down for me.
Man, hold up. I know I just jumped in late, but I'm just now noticing Alex's background swag. Bro, are you in prison? What's going on, man?
I literally made that joke to start. I said,
in a prison, but that looks like prison. Where are you
joining us from the Indiana State Penitentiary?
Cell, how are you? You're in a jail cell. Like, where are you?
I'll give you the same tour, bro.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I have to.
The jail cell has amenities.
I said it at the beginning of the show. You weren't here, but I got tired of saying hotels. I found a little monthly Airbnb rental that's like 1/3 of the price and a little more homey than a double bed hotel with no couch or anything and a tiny TV.
So it's not at a prison. It's not a prison now.
No, it's in the basement. So
okay. Yeah, I really I was confused for a second. I was like, is this man locked up? Like, how has he got internet?
I even got like the sweater on that kind of looks like I'm in the.
We'll send you a orange jumpsuit for next week.
I was like, I know I've been out the chat for a couple of days, but I was like, what the heck did I miss?
Sorry, no, I'm living in I got a nice little cozy basement, nice family that's here. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. So
gets the job done. All right, Ryder. What you got on stock up, stock down?
I'm gonna go stock up Gillespie, give him his flowers. Like he's gonna God willing, break the record and make the last 8 matches of weird soccer at least bearable, and we can have that. The other one is Martin Ojeda because hasn't started in the last 2 and we're missing him and he needs to be in it. You guys talked last week about load management for him. It shouldn't be load management. Like if anything, he should be out there for 60 minutes and then take him out. He needs to be out there. He needs to create. And he didn't even have the best match. And yet he still comes in and we look better with him on the pitch. So stock down. I mean, you can go Angulo. You can go William. Or,
that man's stock already down.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Angulo because why are we keeping him out there so long? Why does he stay on the pitch? Why are we letting the attack go through the left side?
Sounds like you're stock down for Oscar, which is probably a good shout, honestly.
Cleon, you and my wife talked about that today.
Hey, I was gonna say that for shout outs. I was about to say that for shout outs, bro.
That's a hint. If I need to bring her in, just let me know. Give me some notice. But
yeah. She could come in for my shout out. She could come in over your shoulder. She gonna take my shout out tonight.
Okay, just
she
let
got
me know.
some things to say apparently.
Oh, she's listening to me complain. I walk back from Harpin Cell and I'm complaining about how we're so down. And she's looking over my shoulder, watching me look at Twitter and seeing the Oscar out crowd.
Don't take your shout out, bro.
Sorry. I'm just saying. I'm giving previews.
Happy wife, happy life.
She's I'm just giving previews, but I'm gonna give Angulo my stock down.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, Open Cup is back for MLS teams. It looks like it starting today. A couple games going on. I'm gonna have to go ahead and fight FanDuel a little bit because it looks like if a game goes to extra time and the team still wins, they cancel the bet because they didn't win in regular time, but they don't offer any bets for what's going on for extra time. So I'm a little bit mad at FanDuel right now.
Brother, you didn't know this?
I didn't. I know. I do know that, but usually they give you an option to bet who will advance, and they don't have that for this. Like I would have bet that if it was available. So I'm gonna fight with them a little bit later. Anyways, we got the Tampa Bay Rowdies tomorrow. Looks like a lot of MLS teams are rotating. I don't know how much we're gonna rotate.
I'm not.
Curious to see what happens here. As Cleon said, better damn not. I would like to see us go in there and just, be dominant, full strength, crush them. I don't know. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the game? Thoughts on rotation? I'm like I said, other MLS teams that are playing right now, a lot of them are like fully rotated for the most part.
I ain't doing that. I better not see none of them children out there. That's all I'm gonna tell you right now. It's not the time. This is grown man business. This is about trophies. This is trophy time. We don't play around. when it's trophy time. So if we go out there and all of a sudden we throwing all the little kids out there, if your name's Freeman, that's fine. But if your name ain't Freeman, you ain't got no business being out there, and you better send full squad, full tilt, get it done. Advance and move on.
Man, group chat's going to be on fire tomorrow when the lineup gets announced and clean.
Bro, I'm going to be livid.
I will say, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up right now because I know that they've been pretty poor so far this season. But the Tampa Bay Rowdies have been kind of bad so far this year.
Cheeks.
Let's see, draw, loss, win, loss.
They've only won one.
They've only won one game this year so far. So it's one of those things. Definitely don't want to overlook our opponents. At the same time, though, screw the Rowdies. So I mean, we're kind of just we're coasting through this episode at this point. So, what are you guys' predictions? What are we thinking? What are our scores? Who are our goal scorers? What do you expect to see? I'm gonna go Brown. I'm gonna go to Alex first.
I do expect some rotation. I know Cleon doesn't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
I mean, in the midfield, there's not much rotation to be had, so we're probably going to have
Gervais still hurt, so
the same guys. I mean, same thing in defense, honestly. I don't expect Thomas Williams sort of rotation. I expect maybe Dagger Dan to come in. Definitely Nico Rodriguez. I'm expecting him to start.
Is he healthy?
Yeah. He's been on the bench and he's made some appearances. So
just instead of subbing him in last week, we decided to sub on fullbacks at the end of the game when we needed a goal.
I'm expecting Ojeda to start since he's been getting some bench time. So I'm expecting him to start and Muriel to sit on the bench to start. And I mean, I hope Duncan starts over Enrique just so he can hopefully get a cheap one or two, and get back on pace. So
he need help. Both of them can use a cheap one at this point because neither one of them scored all year.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
I expect some rotation. It'll be interesting to see if they have Pasalic in there or not, or if they go Ramiro at the wing. But yeah, I mean, I agree with Cleon. We gotta get the dub.
Man, this is trophy time, man.
Yeah, and we're undefeated against the Rowdies. So even if it's not trophy time, it's not time to lose to the Rowdies for the first time ever. So we gotta get the dub.
And we got a group going. Both supporter groups are on fire for this.
Yeah, which is always awesome to hear. And there's a term that I knew friends of mine in college used to use when you were struggling is you needed a slump buster. I think the Tampa Bay Rowdies need to be the slump buster for Duncan McGuire and Ramiro Enrique. So hopefully that can work 100%. So I'm with you on that. Although that term is usually different back in college. Anyways, Ryder, what's your prediction?
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth for the Duncan thing. He absolutely needs to start. He absolutely needs to score. I'd love a brace from him. If he can get a hat trick, great. That would be the most ironic thing to happen. But I just want him to score. I want him to get what he needs and come out of this ready to attack on the weekend because we need him. We paid him and he's coming off injury. He's only started twice, but it's been hard for him and we haven't been creating for him. So Duncan needs to do what he needs to do. I do think we'll see Angulo, which honestly should be an insult to him still starting. We're going to see rotation in the midfield. And on the wing, Pasalic, I don't think we'll see him. I don't even think he'll be in the 18. But Dagger definitely is going to get a start. Kyle Smith, wherever he wants to slot in, wherever Oscar wants him. But this is a must win. It's like Cleon keeps saying, it's for a trophy. This is for pride. This is heritage. That's why so many supporters are getting on a bus at 3 p.m. tomorrow to go to this match. Stay safe. Don't get arrested like one of the last matchups. And
like flag in his prison cell.
yeah,
Come on, man.
We just got to win this. This is the I-4 Derby. Win this for the fans. Win this for pride. And also, not to be whatever, but Tampa's terrible. They've had a bad start. Mike was talking about it earlier. In an alternate universe, I'm taking tomorrow off and going to this match with my season tickets for FC Naples. And then I have to swap kits and I told my wife, if Orlando and FC Naples played, I'm pulling. Don't
you dare say it. Don't you dare say what I think you're going to say.
What was I going to say?
Where if you were going to say you're going to wear a split jersey, I'm going to go ahead and
no, not a split jersey.
I'm not.
Who was it to play for the Cosmos in New York back in the day?
Pele.
Pull a Pele. That's it. Thank you. Pull a Pele and play.
I thought it was going to be somebody obscure, bro.
No, sorry, I can.
Freaking
Pele. No, but he in his last match, he played one half for the Cosmos and the other half for his childhood club. So it was whatever not MetLife,
the Meadowlands,
yeah, and that's what I was going to do. I was going to wear one half FC Naples and one half Orlando City.
That's almost as bad as a split jersey.
That's bad.
I don't know what to do. Season ticket holder.
100%. That's bad.
I know
you're on an Orlando City podcast.
I know.
All right, well, we're gonna have to look at your contract.
Hey, look here, man. Y'all stressing me out. Y'all stressing me out, bro. Y'all stress me out. Look here. You know how upsets happen? When you think this team sucks. And we're so much better than them. So I'm going to play all my sucky players. Guess what? When you do that, now you suck just like them. You no longer are that much better than them because you decide they're so sucky. I'm going to play all my sucky players so we both suck. Then you know what happens when you both suck? Now you're giving them a chance. That's what happens. So no, you put your best players out. You smash their heads down. You smash their heads in. And then when you up a bunch, then you put in your little sucky players. When there ain't enough time for the Rowdies to come back. Don't go out there talking about I'm so good that I'm going to send my trash out there to match your trash and play down to your level. If you better than somebody, you got to beat them down. That's what it is. If you better than somebody, beat them down and then play your little subs and scrubs and everybody else. Don't go out there in front of a start, try to match their scrubbiness by bringing their scrubs to play their scrubs. It don't make sense to me. I don't understand it. The mentality is just completely off to me. I don't get it. That's how you get upset. 100%. That's how you get upset. When you go down there and you play your worst players against them because you're like, oh, because they suck. It don't make sense to me. It's not logical. End rant.
All right.
I just watched the Pacers just come back from 7 down in the last 20 seconds and win.
That's
Crazy.
insane. That's insane. Yeah. I still couldn't believe that the Knicks decided to come back from 20 down last night against the Celtics in Boston. But when they were shooting Cleon, I don't know if you saw the stats on this. They attempted 63. 63s and only made 15 of them. 15, like exactly. If the Knicks didn't win, I was going to be so mad. Anyways, not talking about that anymore.
So Cleon, after the rant, what's your prediction?
If we play our good players or the scrubby players?
Well, I mean, you got to give both because both are.
What do you think is going to happen in your heart?
Heart of hearts.
I feel we're going to win either way. But if we go in and we play bro, we send OCB down there, bro. I don't know about that. I feel like, but I know how they operate, and even if they start the scrubs, they're gonna leave some real players on the bench And I feel like if you start them scrubs, you might still win, but you're gonna have to bring your players off the bench and with some desperation type crap, and that's unnecessary. Just go in there, beat them down quickly, get up, and then then rest your guys.
Who do you think's in goal tomorrow night?
What? It better be Pedro. We put in Otero tomorrow.
100%.
That's what I'm scared of. That's exactly why I brought it up.
Why?
Because traditionally, against lower league teams, except for the Open Cup final, we, especially in the first round, we have put in our lower goalkeeper. And that's what I'm scared of. And that's why I don't want. I'm not rooting for this. I'm just bringing it up.
You're stressing me out.
Ryder's talking with his brain and Cleon's talking with the heart.
No, I'm talking with my brain. I ain't speaking with my heart at all. They're talking brain.
I don't know what part of the body fear comes from, but that's where I'm talking from.
The butthole. Comes from the butthole.
When we send our real team out there, I ain't scared of no Rowdies. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, so that my hemorrhoids are doing that. Got it.
Oh, you made it grosser.
I mean, my
All right,
wife
guys.
said today my gas is already on the podcast.
We better win. That's all I'm gonna say.
All
Better
right,
win.
so Cleon's just booking a dub. Alex's, what are your predictions on the game?
Mr. Brown.
4-1.
I'm going to
I'm gonna leave it at that. Duncan's gonna score whatever, but 4-1. Give up a late goal. The scoreless streak will be broken, but we'll still be talking about the MLS scoreless streak. So,
and I think that's where it counts. I'm going to say 3-1. I think we're going to be somewhat conservative, but we're still going to run them up. So I'm a little concerned what the defense is going to look like. That's why I brought up the Gillespie of it all. I'm scared that we're not going to put Janssen out there, which I don't even know who's going to wear the armband at that point, but we need him out there. So still 3-1. I hope Duncan gets a brace because he needs the goals. He needs the confidence boost.
I'm going to go 4-0. Otero is going to get the starting goal. Kyle Smith is going to be wearing the armband. Duncan gets a hat trick and Nico Rodriguez gets a goal.
If we get a hat trick in the Open Cup after 10 plus years, no one's going to hear the end of it from me.
And you're not going to wear a Naples jersey talking Orlando ever again. So
I'm not wearing one now.
But you said you might have done it, and that's enough for me to go ahead and bring it up for forever. All right.
That's fine.
All right, so we're all booking a dub. And that means who else is in our bracket that because I think we have hosting priority for the next round. I don't remember who.
Charlotte's just beat Carolina, so
I don't know if it was them though. Anywho, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. We got New England this weekend. New England this weekend. I'm assuming we'll be back to full strength, minus Atuesta potentially. Well, probably based on what we're hearing. New England looks a little bit better as of lately. I think a big part of that is Carlos Heel. He's been very good, scoring a lot of solid goals for them. And they've started to put together some results under Porter. So what are we thinking here, guys? I am going to just go ahead and say the obvious. 0-0 draw. Cleon, go ahead. Taking an L?
We're taking an L.
At home, we're taking an L. Wow.
Nope. No, we can't lose if we don't let up a goal. And New England doesn't score very well. And I'm going to say Poppy Special at home, 1-0.
Poppy Special.
We'll get a goal.
I got a 0-0 draw. Cleon's got an L. 3-way tie right now, Ryder. What's the result?
I was going to say the same thing that Alex said. I think it's a Poppy Special. I think we come out conservative, but we get the goal. So 1-0. Give
Poppy
it to Duncan.
Giving it to Duncan. Alex, Brown, who's got your Poppy Special goal?
I'm going to go with Ojeda.
Ojeda. Hopefully he's starting again, because I don't know. I still don't understand what the heck's going on with that. I don't understand why he is not starting. Makes no sense to me. Why why are we trying to make Muriel and Duncan happen? It's not gonna happen.
I don't think they're trying to make it happen. I just think we have a bunch of games coming up. I think they take the Open Cup seriously, and I think I think he's been being saved for tomorrow. And honestly, if you're going to save one of him or Muriel, really, because I mean Pasalic, he's unsavable. You have to play him whenever you can. You have a guy that can replace on the bench, that can come in and replace Muriel at the 9, and Muriel can move to that 10 role. You don't have a guy that can come in off the bench and play the 10 role. So by leaving Muriel in, so I think that's been part of the plan. I think Ojeda gets to start for sure, and that's the main reason as to why, is because we are so deep at striker. So to get and we have nobody in the 10 role. So to get Ojeda or either one of them rest, you have to sit Ojeda. You can't, and move Muriel up, because you can't really bring in anybody else and sit Muriel and then, workhorse Ojeda. So I think he's the most important guy. And if anything, I think, it works in Cleon's favor and shows that we're taking tomorrow seriously, because I fully expect him to be in the 11.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of all said this at the beginning of the year, that the Open Cup is pretty much a non-negotiable. You have to do everything in your power to try and win this. Like, you're entering in the round of 32, which means what? You have to win 5 games to win the whole thing. And looking at the MLS teams that got into it, they're mostly teams that finished below us in the table.
Yep.
Like, on both sides. So
it's in our reach.
Exactly. So this is, it's served up for you to go into this being a favorite. You need to treat it as, you need to go ahead and take it.
And we're hard to beat. We may not be scoring goals, but we're not losing. So, and that's when you're playing win or go home tournaments. It's kind of what matters.
That's true. That's true. All right, guys. Well, we are getting to the end of this episode here. Any shout outs for anybody who wants to kick that off?
I got a shout out, but it's going to be after Alex Ryder, because
she has been summoned. So let's go to Brown first.
I don't really have anybody to shout out. To be honest, I guess I don't know if we talked about Rico getting his contract, his promotion, so I'm happy about that. Shout out to him, and man, if you didn't watch the Pacers just do what they just did, it was the combination. They were down 7 with like 30 seconds left, so I'll shout out them, because it was a combination of unbelievable choke and an unbelievable capitalization by the Pacers. Like, everything had to go perfect, and they did it. And just watch the last minute of that game, and if you like sports in general, and
the cardiac
and people
Pacers
on the road, that was insane.
All right, I'm ready. Go ahead, Kayla. Run it. Kayla got some stuff to say, so she can have my shout out today.
Oh, me? Okay. Hello, Orlando Internet.
This is a first.
This is a first.
Exposa with me, because I'm bilingual. Poppy, you know that. This is the first exposa on the show.
I'm honored. First girl. Okay.
No, I think we had others, but you're the first.
Kay's been on before, right?
Yeah, Kay's been on.
But definitely first spouse.
First spouse, for sure.
I have a bone to pick, guys. Okay.
Oh my God, this damn dog.
I'm gonna need Orlando City's Twitter to stop complaining and saying that Oscar needs to be fired every time you guys draw or lose. Like, it is getting so ridiculous at this point that anytime you guys draw, the first meme that's popped up says, fire him. I'm over it. Like, you guys were garbage before he was there. I don't want to hear it. Like, you've been in the playoffs every year he's been a coach. Like, stop bitching.
All right, somebody mute her. Mute no more. First and
I
last.
was gonna say you're ruining Alex's whole brand.
Oh man, I feel like I just took a low blow.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary. I just got done about Oscar.
Yes,
Dang.
mic drop.
To be fair, I don't post the memes. I just write it out in a tweet. 2 words. 2 words about Oscar, and you might think you know the 2 words, but Ivan Angulo. That's all I need to say. Keep playing. That's all I need to say.
Step
Well,
on
Well,
gone.
we appreciate you and your input, and I am 100% positive 50% of the people that listen are going to be loving that.
100%
right here.
positive, 50%.
Except for the people on Den After Dark. They're not gonna agree with it usually.
Yeah, that's
maybe this was
running
a
80.
safer space than Den After Dark to say this, but you know.
Den After Dark's aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, I guess a little.
A little spicy.
That's why I
Well,
stay out of there.
thank you, Leon, for letting me take your spot. So
No
that
problem.
was it.
Thank you
Beautiful
for
thing.
coming on.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, 100% sure 50% of the people will enjoy that.
Yes, first wipe on the show, first wipe to curse on the show. So 2 for 2.
First and
Dude.
last.
She
for 2.
uses the word fuck as a comma.
Oh well,
Oh,
thank you
my
for
God.
that. I think we were gonna get away with bitching real quickly, but then there we go. All right, never mind. Mark this one as explicit when I upload it. All right.
I was not ready for that. I wasn't ready for that.
All right. Do you have a shout out on your own, Ryder?
Mike have to bleep that one out.
Yeah, no, I don't got time to edit like that. So
You know, time for that.
I'll mark it as explicit when I put it on Spotify.
I mean, shout out to her. Like,
There you
honest
go.
to God, I'm sitting. I said it at the top of the pod. I'm sitting in bed after coming home from Harp and Salt, and she sees the memes on my phone. The only time I scroll Twitter at this point is around Orlando City matches, and she sees the meme and she's like, are they complaining again about Oscar?
Always.
You guys, and I explained to her, yeah, we've done good under him, and people still complain, and that sent her off, and that's when she texted Cleon, and I didn't even hear the other side of this. I love her so much. So that shout out to her.
Mike, can I say shout out to you because I really appreciate your Switzerland stance when somebody comes on not Switzerland on the whole Poppy in and out thing, and and takes my legs out.
I am neutral, buddy. Neutral. Both ways. Neutrals. I have no opinions on anything.
Hey, I have no doubt. Mike's never went on one of those Atlanta trips, but Mike with his old Switzerland stance, I have no doubt he would have been exactly like the rest of y'all and putting me in the front like I'm some damn fullback walking through that hostile Atlanta crowd.
Mike's not getting a drink poured on
Alex,
him.
JJ, and Eddie did me in Atlanta.
You think
You are
scared of Atlanta? Been to Atlanta many times.
You're our Mike Allstott. Well, you just seem to know the area so well. Like you know where to get the Airbnb right across the street.
Do you know where the best chicken wings are at?
Bro, if I knew it that well, I would have known. If I knew it that well, I would have known Magic City was literally right across from the hotel, and we would have been there.
That's what I was getting at. Thank you.
But I had no clue. I had no clue until it was daytime and it was time to go. And I looked out the window. I said, "Is that Magic City?" It was right there, walking distance, bro.
I hear the chicken wings are delicious.
That's what I hear. I was going for the lemon peppers. That's all.
No other reason. No other reason whatsoever.
None.
All right, guys. Well, I didn't get a shout out in. My shout out, I'm just gonna go ahead and give a quick shout out to movies. I saw 2 movies this past week. Sinners was excellent. I absolutely loved it. Thunderbolts was so much fun. Asterisk, although that's totally been ruined by their own campaign now. So if you don't know what the asterisk is, congratulations to you for saying on the internet. Go watch the movie, you'll find out. But it was a lot of fun.
Great movie.
I thought Thunderbolts was excellent.
I haven't gone to go see him yet. I've been meaning to, but I've been a little busy.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal.
Thunderbolts is definitely like one of my favorite Marvel movies in recent memory, and Sinners is probably one of my favorite movies overall in recent memory. So really good stuff. But yeah, that'll do it, guys. That's an episode. Den After Dark will resume twice this week after the game against the Rowdies and after the game against New England. I should be free to be able to do both of them. So you'll be dealing with my listening to me yap. And until then, it's always Vamos Orlando. We'll see you guys next time.
So Rowdies is tomorrow for sure, right? What time?
I think 7:30 your time.
Okay, all right.
He's on his way to St. Pete after this.
Let me go lock it in.
Magic City. All right. Vamos Orlando, guys.
Later.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Orlando Lions Den podcast. Don't forget to follow us at Orlando Lions Den on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. See you next week in the Den.